Hi there viewers, Lord Shadows here, like always, LOS. Do a special discussion video and will be about Batman Arkham Knight video game review. I will talk about my expectations, what I was amused, a little bit negative, a little much more about this video game and what I personally thought and what I expected, so let's just begin, shall we? When we're talking about, the characters, in Arkham Knight and everything, well, okay, let's just skip one step on that, because the characters I will put as the last thing I will say. So, the beginning, I will only wish to say, about the gameplay. So, the gameplay, in Arkham Knight and everything, the moves, the combats and everything, and all the levels, the missions, the side ones were actually pretty good. Even this time, Rockstar did a marvelous job, about the riddle challenges, and I really like the ending when we had the riddle boss fight against between Batman and the Riddler, who was in some kind of a giant riddle robot. Even if it was a robot, it was still a boss fight. That kind of boss fight I always like. I'm not old school, but I really, especially what I really most like in video games are boss fights, because that is the only. That was one of the main reasons why I buy games. So I really like this game. We have a lot of good boss fights. We like in the side missions and in the store. Like for example, we have against the Riddler, Professor Pig. When we have the fight. Well, it was pretty actually hiding, not actually face-to-face fighting, but it was still good. We have for Arkham Knight, and we even all these side missions and everything was really quite amazing. And we have the fight. Well, actually was taking down Man-Bat, following him and everything, but it still was some kind of very good fight. Yeah, I even liked the fight between Firefly. Or should I say, well, actually was to follow him, but still was, well, yeah, some point we have this boss fight, between Firefly and Batman, which about Firefly, I can only say that I like mostly the boss fight of Firefly, in Batman Arkham Origins. I most like, in that game, I like the boss fight between Batman and Firefly, but even that one in Arkham Knight was, well, actually not too bad. It's really quite good. But the only boss fight I really didn't like was against Deathstroke. When Batman was trying to follow him on that tank and everything and fight him, because the main part, about that mini side mission was, to destroy his tank like he did for Arkham Knight. And there you have, just Deathstroke just popping out of the tank and try to attack him, and Batman knock him out in one single blow. And that actually, that actually was the negative one. That was the only negative boss fight I ever had. Because even the one, when Batman was trying to fight him in Joker in his mind, was actually quite good. It was actually, good to see, a final fight between two arch enemies. Arch nemesis like Batman and the Joker. And it was really fight. I really appreciate the one, in the mind. The fight between Batman and Joker. It was the battle, who will survive. Who will survive, or actually should we say who was gonna take over Bruce Wayne's mind, or Batman or Joker? Which, if you play the game, the end, the Batman is the winner. So yeah, there was the old boss fight and everything, and damn mosquitoes. So yeah, about the boss fights and everything. I even like the one, when, like I said before, when Batman was searching for Professor Pig. I actually like even that one. Even it mostly is against Dollatrons, but it was really quite good. It was really quite good. Well, when he was fighting, against Hush, well, that was very easy. It was not that very special. Only to take him down and to stop him, to take all the funds, all the money from Bruce Wayne, the real one. And only to knock him out was two moves, one from Fox and one from Batman. So it wasn't some kind of very special thing. But it was really quite good. The boss fights and everything. And so yeah, it was really quite good. But when we're talking about gameplay and everything, the graphic, the moves, I really like, I really liked in a way, how Batman fight it and everything. And well, the main part of the game, what I really liked was to drive the Batmobile. I really liked that. I mean, it really was. I mean, it was about time when Rocksteady, or the one who made Batman Arkham Origins, whatever. But we'll talk about Rocksteady now. So I'm really, really excited. I mean, I really appreciate it. Finally, after all this time, they put Batmobile in action, and it was really, really impressive. Even in the real challenges and in the main story, really impressive. The design and the cannons and all the rockets you can use and targeting the other vehicles and driving, like a mad psycho, all around the street. Well, it was really quite amazing. I mean, all the time, all the graphic, the details in Arkham Knight, in the gameplay, the fighting, the story, the story mode, the side missions, everything was really made in details, and it almost feels like you were watching a movie, a Batman Arkham Knight movie. So it was really exciting. Everything was exciting. Yeah, the Batmobile was one of the best things and the best pluses I will give to Arkham Knight. The Batmobile. It really is. That's one thing. So like I said, the boss fights were good. The only negative one was against Deathstroke, because if you remember Batman Arkham Origins, if you played the game, and I know you did, Batman needed, Batman and Deathstroke against Deathstroke in Batman Arkham Origins. That was a really big, decent boss fight. It was, and Batman really took time to take him down. In fact, that was that's the thing. What mode did you use? The easy one, or the medium one, or difficult one. It's all up to you. But I'm just saying, that was a real boss fight. Not like that one in Arkham Knight, when he just dropped down from the tank, Batman just knocked him out in one move. It really was. That was the negative one. So the other things, the boss fight was good, the gameplay was good, the graphic was really good. And now we're talking about the story. The main story, to end up in the trilogy of Batman Arkham Knight, it was really marvelous. All, Scarecrow as the main bad guy, and, all the, the psychological fight that Batman and the Joker were having, who was gonna, conquer the mind and everything, and, all these big revelations, and, the last fight, we have a lot of characters, in this video game. We have, supporting ones. We have Batman, Oracle, Robin, Nightwing, Catwoman. We have a lot we have a lot of supporting characters, who's gonna fight, alongside Batman. And when we're talking about supporting characters, I really liked, the switch thing. When you're trying to fight, for example, like when Batman was trying to fight the Riddle drones. That's how I call them. The Riddle drones. So when Batman was trying to fight them, you can even switch place with Catwoman and fight, with Catwoman's character against these Riddle drones. And that's the same way, with Robin or Nightwing. It was really quite impressive. It really was. That was one of the final touches, that I really liked. That they can show, the Rocksteady can show you that you cannot play only with Batman if you want. You can also play the other characters, and that was actually good. And especially I like in the side mission, when the side mission with Azrael, the Knight of Saint Dumas. When Batman was trying to challenge him to see, if he's a real successor, for him and everything. And, playing with him, his moves, fighting skills and everything, they are a little bit different from Batman. But it's really quite impressive, even seeing Azrael as a playing character. It really was quite impressive. It really was. But when we're talking about all the story, everything was... the story. I'm talking about the story. So everything was absolutely great. Absolutely great. The story was wonderfully written, as the finale of the Batman Arkham series, and it's really phenomenal. Even from the very beginning to the end, it was phenomenal. I mean, I really don't have any words to say. I mean, all the things, what Scarecrow did, all the sacrifices, some kind of tragedy scenes, action scenes. Even we have a little bit of comedy in there, but the story was epic, and the finale. Well, the finale actually was quite sad. Scarecrow revealing to everybody else, that he's Bruce Wayne, that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and now all the world now knows, and of course, the ending, totally ending, Nightfall. If you remember Dark Knight Returns, then you know what Nightfall is. Faking your own death and only being as Batman. That's the Nightfall project. Or should I say Operation Nightfall. So, yeah, it was really quite good. We even saw in Batman Arkham Knight, we even saw a lot of scenes that belong, to comics, movies, and all this stuff. For example, like when Joker shot Barbara Gordon and crippled her. That scene, belonged to Killing Joke, or for example, like Death of the Family or Batman on the Red Hood. Where Joker tortured Jason Todd, or for example, like that Project Nightfall. That was taken, from the Dark Knight Returns comic and movie. If you watch it, if you didn't watch it because it's wonderfully, made it, and the voice cast and everything. Watch it. The character designs were actually really pretty good. Really pretty good. Almost all of them. From Batman to the villains. But the only character I didn't like the character design was for the Penguin. Did you look at him? All his design, his clothes and all. He without hair, all bald. He looks like a normal, ordinary mobster. We're talking about the Penguin, man. He had to be special. At least, you could at least, let him that hair, or maybe his hair a little bit longer. And he's, dressed up, like he usually is. Well, Rocksteady, they didn't need, to add his hat, his big one, but they could, just dress him like the Penguin we know. That's the only negative thing in character design. That's the only negative thing. The other things were good. But I would say, about Arkham Knight, I should really say that the most saddest parts in this game was the sacrifice of Poison Ivy and the end. Nightfall Project and Scarecrow revealing to everybody else around the world that he's Batman. Those were the saddest parts for me. They really were, really tragic. Seeing, for example, the first one, when Poison Ivy sacrificed herself, for Gotham. Well, or should we say, for plants. Well, for plants, or should I say, for nature. Because when Batman said to her, when Poison Ivy said to Batman, why will I help you? Because if you don't, every single plant will die. So, in some way, he sacrificed himself for nature. For plant, not only for this, somehow it is for the city, but mostly for the plants. Mostly for the plants and for nature, because her last words were, nature always wins. And then she died. And disintegrated. Okay, yeah, somehow disintegrated, because the only thing that remained of her was the shirt. That was the first sad thing what I found out in Arkham Knight. The other part is the last part. The relation of Batman and the Nightfall project. I understand, when the leader, I don't remember actually the leader of the Rocksteady, but I now I understand, when he said that the ending of Batman Arkham Knight is really epic and legendary, and now I understand what he meant about that. Like the perfect ending, like Scarecrow revealed to everybody else, who he is, and then he faked his death, with the Nightfall project and remained only as Batman, which also, it was, when I saw the ending, the 100% ending, I even saw that, the irony was in the ending that exactly the same scene was like in the past of Bruce Wayne. I mean, when you see two parents going in one dark street, and then you have two criminals. One of them is shooting to the parents, and the only one who survived was the boy. It's really quite a big irony in that. The same thing will happen to Bruce Wayne. A little big irony, but still good. And the last thing you say, you see something on top of the building, and then you see, just some kind of big hallucination or some kind of a ghost that looks like Batman and just comes to the criminals. So it appears like, I'm not quite sure, but it appears like in the ending, Batman is using the toxin of Scarecrow, to scare other criminals. So maybe he wanted to believe like the ghost of Batman attacked him, something like that. Like he wanted to prove to Gotham still that the symbol of Batman, his symbol of hope and justice still remains in Gotham. Like his spirit is guiding the city, something like that. So everything was good. Like I said, the story was good, the gameplay was good, the character designs except the Penguin and the boss fights were good except Deathstroke, and the big part was my really big negative one, was the revelation of Arkham Knight. Even since the first day when I heard about Arkham Knight, yes, I admit, the first thing what I thought was that he will be the Joker, Arkham Knight. But then I thought, when the leader said, I don't actually remember his name, when he said the Joker is dead, he's really dead. So I thought, yeah, because in his muscular form and everything, there's no possibility that he's the Joker. But then I thought, who maybe this Arkham Knight is? Because I really thought it would be some new guy. But when we saw that he was related to Batman, call him the old man, calling him Bruce, how he knew about Arkle, where she was, who is Robin, who's Nightwing, he knew everything about Batman, and he always said that he was really predictable. So, and even he knew what his costume, what he was wearing and the gadgets and everything. He knew everything because, like he said, to his men, don't shoot at his chest because where the sign is, there's something tricky about it. So, I thought to myself, who might this guy be? It is someone younger and related to Batman. So, after the Joker theory, I thought that it might be Jason Todd. It really is. That was my second choice. Then the third one, was Rachel Gould raising from the dead and all that. But when I heard, that he calling old man, which means that Arkham Knight is someone younger, so I cut off Rachel Gould theory and stuck up with Jason Todd. And now I finally see, because after Rachel Gould, my other thought was that this Arkham Knight is going to be some kind of or a new character, new villain. Is somehow connected with Batman and the Arkham games. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. And then, the big revelation. Arkham Knight, Jason Todd. Yeah. Really quite shocking. But also, very predictable. Yeah, very, very predictable. Because if Rocksteady put Arkham Knight as Jason Todd, then they could easily put Red Hood instead of Arkham Knight. They really could. But, somehow the theory, the mask, and to be the other counterpart of Batman, somehow, they make it sense that might be Jason Todd. Like Sherlock Holmes who said, elementary. Elementary, my dear Watson. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was simple, it was predictable, but at some point negative, because I really want to see Arkham Knight in some kind of a new villain. So that's one thing. The other thing, when we talk about the story and everything, I will say in short words. So the story was really epic. The plot was good, the beginning was good, and the finale was sad, but really, really epic. It really was. So Arkham Knight, Arkham Knight as the end of the Batman Arkham trilogy was spectacular. Sad, but spectacular. Rocksteady, you did a great job. You really did. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I wish to say about the story, because everything was great. And you know, that last part I only wish to say about a few things about Scarecrow. Oh, and by the way, I mean, I did a character discussion about Scarecrow, you know, I think it was 2 weeks or 1 week ago. Yeah, so I'll post the link below, so if you want to see my character discussion about Scarecrow. But I will say a little bit much more in this game, so in this video. So the Scarecrow, I mean, the character design, his acting, you know, his personality, his goal, plot in this game was spectacular. Much more greater than it was in Arkham Asylum. It really was big and phenomenal. John Noble did a great job. John Noble did a great job. That's one of the great pluses I would give to Arkham Knight. And especially one of the greatest pluses I'm going to give it was the Batman and return of Mark Hamill as the Joker. I mean, well, it is a bit... I mean, it was really odd, you know, because at the beginning I thought that the Joker will be, you know, some kind of hallucination, because after he was confirmed he's dead, I suppose he will be some kind of hallucination after all this talks and everything. But then after I realized his role in the story, even if he is a ghost, you know, it was really spectacular, because there was not only the fight for Gotham, but it was also the fight for the destiny of Batman's mind. Because who will win and who will conquer it? So that was really amazing. And hearing Mark Hamill again as voicing the Joker was amazing. It really was amazing. It really was. And after, you know, in 2011 when Mark Hamill said, you know, about voicing the Joker, well, never say never. I know what he meant now. Because he returned for Batman Arkham Knight, and he will return because there is an important announcement that was given by Warner Brothers. After all this time, since 2011, the fans all around the world, they want to give, you know, to bring to television and to videos and online the movie of one of the greatest Joker comics, you know, around the world, The Killing Joke. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that thing's come true. Warner Brothers specifically and officially announced The Killing Joke movie is coming to 2016. And you know what that means. Mark Hamill as the Joker. So if I'm saying that if Mark Hamill is the Joker, then traditionally I really want to see Kevin Conroy as Batman. I really wish to see that. That's another thing. But so that was one of my important announcements about Mark Hamill. So yeah, I mean, I really wanted to see, you know, I really wish, expect, you know, to see in Arkham Knight that he will be, you know, alive, you know, that he followed Batman into the toxin factory, you know, I mean, Ace Chemicals factory, and, you know, he was just staying there, you know, and just say, "Miss me?" and dead. But after, you know, the Joker disease, you know, the Batman is one of the 5 Jokers, you know, who will replace Joker and continue his legacy. Now that was one of the greatest parts of this story of Arkham Knight. I mean, that shows you that even in death, Joker is still laughing, that he still is active. Even after he's dead, he's still living in our heads in a memory of crime, and he still wants to continue this fight against Gotham the Dark Knight. And so he accepts, so, you know, if you remember Arkham City, you know, he, you know, shambles all his blood exams all over the city, you know, in hospitals. And if you remember, you know, because Gordon said there were 5 of them. You know, one of them was that, one of them was, you know, that old man, you know, teacher. One of them was the black guy, you know, big one called Goliath. One was one of the, I think it was a talk show host, something like that. And one of them was a financer, that girl. The girl was some kind of financer. And the 5th one was the Batman himself. And even when he said, you know, he will be there, you know, in the cell, I knew that it was talking about Batman because he was the last person who was infected by the Joker's blood. So it appears that the cure didn't work so much quite on him or anybody else. Joker, you're a really good genius. So here I am now because everything was great. Like I said, the character design was great. The boss fights were great. The gameplay was great. And even seeing Batmobile in action was really great. The story was epic to the beginning to the finale. It was really epic, especially the finale. Sad, but very epic. You know, and the main bad guy and the Joker thing in the story was phenomenal. So, I mean, I will give it a 10 out of 10. But then all these negative things, you know, the Deathstroke fight, Jason Todd as Arkham Knight, then, you know, what I was saying, yeah, there was these two things, and the design of the Penguin, I will give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I will give it a 10 out of 10 if everything will be perfect, but with that, I will give it a 9 out of 10. But it's still good. Still good, because Rocksteady as a finale of Batman Arkham series did a really good job. Well done. Well done. You deserve a medal. You Rocksteady really deserve a medal. So here I'm done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. Did you give me something what you personally think about Arkham Knight? You know, the game, the character design, the story, the gameplay, the plot, everything, much more, everything. Drop your like, I really appreciate that. Subscribe, it really is not that difficult. Use the mouse, click a click. Peace everyone, have an awesome day. Or should I say, to Europe, have a nice rest of the night. The other side, have a nice rest of the day. See you around.